Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about the Federal Reserve and Mr. Jerome Powell and what I honestly think is truly one of the biggest mistakes in central bank history and is a large part of the reason inflation is what it is right now and the economy is what it is, and why I also think we're really headed towards, like I said in the previous video, an economic hurricane. It's a large part their fault, and honestly, I'm really mad at them because they messed up super badly. So obviously we have the pandemic, and then they cut interest rates to zero, and they, there's all the pandemic stimulus going on, and et cetera, et cetera. But 2021, 2020, I guess you can keep it at zero, but I really think 2021, you absolutely have to bring it up above zero, though. If you did it at least once in 2021, above zero, we would not be in a situation we are at all. It would change everything vastly. You would not be starting from zero in 2022 and having to go up to, well, what's it going to be like, three something at the end of the year. Obviously a lot can change, but it's just like, it's a really just a huge mistake on their part, especially the transitory inflation call. Yeah, how's that working out now? Now we're talking about, bloody stagflation. We have 8% inflation and the whole nine yards. And especially at the end of 2021, you could see the oil market starting to tighten. Obviously, who would see, the war coming, but still you could see the oil market tightening near the end of 2021 or so. And you could also see the economy was doing good, and it was doing good during 2021. You don't need to keep interest rates at 0%, even though there's still a pandemic going on and everything. I know you cannot keep them at 0% with all this pandemic stimulus and everything. You have to really take a step back. But truly, though, especially this transitory inflation call was one of the worst calls in central banking history by far and away. It's just to me, it just shows complete incompetence, to be honest. And now, well, they're raising, rates higher than ever. And already, look at housing. The economy is cooling down very fast. Obviously we won't see, but it's too much, too much, far too much, too late, and it's going to lead us to a recession, if not stagflation. I just hope it's a recession, because I feel we need a recession to just kill inflation and get it back to this 2% target, which I think, what's her name, Esther, sorry, I can't remember her name, but Esther from the Federal Reserve commented today that she does not expect inflation to reach the Fed's target of 2% for another 2 years. After, how long ago was it they just said that inflation will be transitory? Yeah. On top of the balance sheet, they bought all the way into March, I believe, and now they're obviously doing the biggest sell-off of the balance sheet in history just because of the size of it. It's $9 trillion, and they're only just starting it. How they're going to do it? 3-month period of, limited selling, and then after that they're really going to step it up. I think even now they're kind of just starting off very slow, and even over the next 3 months they'll step it up, and then after that take the next bigger step. And that's a lot of tightening going on too. I can't quite remember the exact figure. Someone had kind of mentioned it about interest rates. Would it be interest rate hikes? Would be equivalent to what you can already see with few days ago. You see bonds go absolutely crazy. It was very interesting to see. But I really just think that, like, because of them, largely, but this is why the economy is what it is, obviously. But like, I cannot make truly one of the biggest mistakes in central banking history by keeping interest rates at zero for 2 years and continuing to add to the balance sheet. I know the economy needed support in 2020, but 2021, the economy was fine. And if you at least raised it by a quarter, and then a quarter again, if so, you're at, by 2022, 0.5% or even 1%, you would not be in this situation we are whatsoever. Inflation would not be nearly as bad. We would have a completely different scenario. The Fed could even hike, even if inflation was there, the Fed could hike a lot easier and better and arguably quicker, because, well, they're not starting from zero, which is, that's, and you're not automatically, with all the pandemic stimulus, which is also running off around this time, say it last year, so it's kind of running off around this time. He's running, but nobody has any pandemic stimulus left, really. But anyways, you jack up interest rates, you have inflation there, and you're jacking them up so fast. Obviously, the people that are going to suffer the most is the low income and lower income people. They are, they have debt, they have mortgages, and they already can hardly afford to pay for their gas and food. And now you're raising interest rates on them. So now we're going to pay even more for their mortgage and their debt and etc. And it's just, I feel awful for the lower income people. It's really, it's just awful. And it's just even more reason to be pissed off at the Fed, to be quite honest. Here you can kind of see their projections and stuff, but you can see how much it changes. Well, I mean, this is just, I think it'll show you March projections, but like you can see, look at this, 1.9 to 3.4. At 2.8 to 3.8. And if you would go back to the November projections, oh my God, has everything ever changed a lot since then? I remember we were talking about, a few rate hikes in 2022, not much at all. And here we are, we're going from 0 all the way to like 3-something%, which is just, oh, it's, and when you consider that, you're jacking it up so fast from 0, which the economy was so used to for 2%. It had all that pandemic stimulus. The inflation is raging and will not get any better, especially with oil prices. In my opinion, in my opinion, you're going to break the economy. Something is going to break, and you're going to get a recession for sure. Maybe stagflation. I really hope you get just a recession and you can just kill inflation that way. I think the Fed, they've been saying that we can do the soft landing. To me, all along, that has just been complete. That's a joke. You cannot do once inflation is above 5%, it's impossible to have a soft landing. On top of every single Fed rate hiking cycle, it almost always historically leads to a recession. That always does. Why would it not now when inflation is above 5%? You're starting at interest rates from 0 and all of the factors that I mentioned. And inflation is also at literally all-time highs. I believe we compare it to the 1970s and so on and stuff, but I believe that they did they converged it 1970s to nowadays inflation reading, and we are not actually that far. We're only like 1% behind the 1970s. It's like we have a guaranteed recession. In my mind, the Fed just needs to send us into a recession, and as much as it's going to suck, and I hate to see people hurting financially and losing their jobs, but we also have in the United States there is 2 jobs for every single person. That is a huge problem. But and then you have wage inflation, and then you have inflation. It's going to be a hurricane, and it's going to be ugly. And it is the Federal Reserve, Mr. Jerome Powell, is a large part to blame for that. And I am extremely mad at him. Like, you can just truly one of the biggest mistakes in central banking history. And now this is the result, and this is not the worst of it yet. We have yet to, we're really going to see a hurricane, in my opinion. I know Jamie Dimon said that, and I mentioned that in my last video, but I said that before him. I said, he came out bad, not like he's listening to me or knows who I am. But anyways, so hope you guys enjoyed that. That's really, my thoughts on the Federal Reserve. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day. Take care, everyone.